The site, the D-shaped 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. High bank, high speed, and highly competitive. And the field of 36 cars with the engines running, ready to pull out of the pit road and onto the racetrack as we get set for the running of the Michigan 400. And right now we're at the halfway mark of the 1979 Grand National Circuit. Darrell Waltrip has won 4 races so far this year. He is the point leader, followed by Bobby Allison, Cale Yarborough, Richard Petty, and then 2 rookies, Dale Earnhardt and Joe Milliken. Hello again, everybody. I'm Al Michaels, and we took a look at the point leaders just a moment ago. They are all in the race today. An interesting, perhaps, changing of the guard taking place this year with Darrell Waltrip up on top and 2 rookies in the top 6 in the point standings. One other interesting feature here at Michigan is the fact that David Pearson has virtually owned this racetrack over the past few years. He has won 8 of the last 13 races here, and once again this year, David Pearson's car is on the pole. However, David Pearson is not in it. He split with the Wood Brothers team in April after the race at Darlington. His ride taken over by Neil Bonnet, and Bonnet sits on the pole today. We look forward to an interesting afternoon, and again, I look forward to working with my colleague, Jackie Stewart. And Jackie, we took a look at the point standings. We see some newcomers in there. Do you think that what's happening in NASCAR racing now is typical of something that's to come in the future, or do you think this is simply an aberration?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think, Al, as you said earlier on with me, I think the changing of the guard is relevant here. And I think the old guard are finding it difficult to hold on. You've got 3 new boys in the top 6 of the NASCAR standing. And right now you've got Neil Bonnet on the pole down here. He's a relative new name to NASCAR racing. So the Richard Pettys, the Allison brothers, the Yarboroughs, all of these people are going to have to watch their heels. And it's in this kind of circuit where you're going to see the kind of close racing that I think NASCAR's made itself famous for, around the world.
All right, Jackie, on the pace lap right now, the car is ready to enter the backstretch and will set the first several rows. On the pole, Neil Bonnet in car number 21, flanked by Donnie Allison in the red number 1. Row 2, big Buddy Baker in car number 28, and rookie Joe Milliken in car 72, the blue and gray machine. Row 3, a couple of big names, Cale Yarborough in the blue and white 11, and Bobby Allison in the white and blue number 15. Rookie Terry Levante is in row number 4 in car number 44. He is due to be flanked by Ricky Rudd, but there is Rudd having problems right now on the pace lap. Ricky Rudd in car number 90, a questionable starter at the moment. In row 5, a couple of men who will probably charge right for the lead early. Darrell Waltrip in the green and white 88, and the king on the outside 43, Richard Petty. Row number 6, we have car number 9, Bill Elliott, the red and white car. Ty Scott in car number 30. In row 7, the hot rookie Dale Earnhardt driving car number 2. And Bill Green making his first Grand National start from Cincinnati, Ohio in car number 49. A couple of veterans in row number 8. We'll see Dave Marcus starting on the inside in car number 71, and Benny Parsons in car number 27. And they are realigning right now to take over Ricky Rudd's empty spot. Rudd still with the hood up in the pits. So they are ready to come out of turn number 4. We should see the pace car pulling into the pits. As you look at Richard Petty in car number 43, moving up to occupy the spot that would normally be occupied by Rudd. We are ready for the Michigan 400. High bank, 2-mile, D-shaped racetrack. The starter is Chip Warren right now, leaning and taking a look to make sure that the field is solidly aligned, the crowd on its feet, and we get the green flag. We are underway, and it's Buddy Baker dropping down inside. Neil Bonnet in car number 21 has the lead going into the first turn. Donnie Allison on the outside. Baker is right there, and alongside Buddy is Joe Milliken, the rookie in car number 72, and Richard Petty making a quick move as they go into turn number 2 to move into 6th place. So Petty trying to charge to the front early in the race with Bonnet in 21, the former David Pearson machine, and you can see Baker drafting Bonnet as they head into turn number 3.
Neil Bonnet, tremendously talented young man, really shaking this entire NASCAR field. But look at old Richard Petty there, jumped up 4 positions there in the start, anticipated the flag just a tiny little bit, got his engine going and therefore got himself up. But it's Neil Bonnet at the end of the very first lap in the lead.
Neil Bonnet up on top. Bonnet looking for his second Grand National win of the season. The pole sitter, he averaged 162.371 miles per hour. Buddy Baker running in second position. Donnie Allison, Bobby's younger brother in car number 1, is running third at the moment. Ricky Rudd, just now, there he is, coming out of the pits, and he will start
almost 2 laps down. He's almost going to be 2 laps down. Ricky Rudd, as the cars now pass the start-finishing line. Ricky Rudd is just exiting turn 2 as the lead cars go into turn 1. It's still car number 21 that's in the lead, and they come through this beautiful racetrack here, beautifully turned out. It's a Penske-involved racetrack. Roger Penske Corporation owning this racetrack, beautifully groomed, beautifully maintained. The surface is good now. Car number 21 is married to that surface awful well today so far.
Big crowd looking on, and of course it has been David Pearson who has owned this racetrack in that car that you see, number 21. But Pearson not in the race today. It's driven by Bonnet, and here comes Buddy Baker up on the inside of Neil Bonnet. And as we finish lap number 3, it is Buddy Baker who has the lead barely, but Bonnet again to the outside. And Donnie Allison trying to move up. Now he'll settle to draft in behind Buddy Baker in position number 3. Running fourth at the moment is Cale Yarborough.
Buddy Baker started to get alongside there, but he was out of the draft. There was no car in front of him. He wasn't getting the benefit of being sucked along, so therefore he had no car to break that air, and this is the all-important thing about stock car racing. He had to tuck himself in, but he did jump up into that second position again. He could easily have lost that. He's looking for a way past again, Neil Bonnet, and that red and white car number 21. The Wood brothers, famous for their preparation, famous for their success. And now Buddy Baker, one of the men who really charge in stock car racing. 6'5", a big man, a heavy man, and a charger.
So the Michigan 400 is underway. The leader is Neil Bonnet, Buddy Baker running second, Donnie Allison is third. We'll be back in a moment. Buddy Baker, as they head down the back straightaway, has taken the lead away from Neil Bonnet as he moved to the inside. It looked like he was going to try to overtake Bonnet the last couple of laps by dropping down low. He does so here, and so Bonnet will move into the draft. Donnie Allison is running third. The rookie Joe Milliken running well at the outset of the race. Milliken is in fourth place. Cale Yarborough is fifth, and slowing down on the back straightaway is car number 17. That is Roger Hamby. Roger Hamby dropping down below the line. So Buddy Baker still out on top. Now side by side, you've got Allison and Bonnet, and Donnie Allison in the red, number 1, has moved into second place. So there are the top 5 at the moment in typical NASCAR racing. Maybe a dozen car lengths separating spots 1 through 5 as Donnie Allison starts to bear down on Buddy Baker. Right on his back fender as they head into turn number 3.
Going around this turn number 3 here, high on the racetrack is Buddy Baker. He seems to use a higher line round here than Donnie Allison. You can see that on the racetrack. Remember, it's 18 degrees of banking around this D-shaped oval. It's a long curve around just where the cars are going now as they're flashing past our speed shot there at more than 170 miles an hour. And there you have Donnie Allison taking the lead from Hueytown, Alabama. And Baker tries to get him high on the racetrack. They're going side by side around these 18 degrees here. This is what stock car racing is. Look, going onto the back stretch now, almost side by side. No drafting ahead of them. The 2 cars lined up behind. Number 1, the red car there, Donnie Allison having the best line to go into turn 3. Can he hold it going through there? And look at Buddy Baker. He's not giving an inch. He's holding high there. It really is a remarkable piece of driving here, precision driving. And look at these cars tied up behind them there. You've got the red and white car there, and Neil Bonnet behind them there, and then Cale Yarborough in there. Lots of experience, really high on each other here, but they're still side by side. They've been round a complete lap now, side by side.
It's the type of racing you'd normally see in the last 2 or 3 laps, and certainly on the last lap in a typical NASCAR race. And you're seeing it very early here with Donnie Allison and now Buddy Baker again going to the outside. And Allison not ready to give any ground, even though it's early. And here comes Bonnet again in car number 21, Neil Bonnet. overtakes both of them to take the lead. But Baker again starts his move on the outside, and it's Buddy to the fore one more time.
That was drafting. That was slipstreaming. He really did get a draft off there, and that Neil Bonnet really tucked himself in around this long backstretch here. He pulled himself right along, taking an advantage of probably 10 to 12 miles an hour, and slingshotted these cars as he went through there, getting himself back into second place. He's still got Donnie Allison glued to his rear bumper there.
Buddy Baker, the leader at the moment. Neil Bonnet is second. Donnie Allison running third. Cale Yarborough is fourth. We'll return with more of the Michigan 400 leader. But right now, let's join Howard Cosell with a special guest. We have seen to this point one of the most competitive races in NASCAR history. We've had a dozen different men lead this race. We've had 46 lead changes. And at the moment on the outside in car 28, that's Buddy Baker in front by about half a car length. Car number 1, Donnie Allison, is running second. Richard Petty is right there in third place. And door to door, it's 15 Bobby Allison and the rookie Dale Earnhardt in car number 2. We also have Neil Bonnet, Darrell Waltrip, and Cale Yarborough still in the hunt. Any one of the 8 could win it. We have 19 laps or 38 miles to go.
Michigan's always recognized as a racetrack where you have very, very close racing, but I've never seen this close racing before. They're 3 abreast right now, this close to the end of the race. Any 8 of those cars could win. It's amazing. It's like a tight formation on this high banking here, sometimes going side by side round the entire speedway.
And right now it's Buddy Baker again. His car running very well, both high and low today. Donnie Allison inside of Baker. Richard Petty right there. Now Bobby starts to draft his brother Donnie as they head into turn number 3. And it's Donnie Allison moving out in front as they head out of 3 and into turn number 4 before entering the main straightaway.
Again, this turn 4, always a place where one anticipates a little trouble, because coming off of these long corners, really in these ovals, there are only 2 corners, 1 and 2 linked together, and then 3 and 4 linked together, and there you see them 3 abreast again. They could almost get another car inside there again. Buddy Baker in the silver car. Now takes a little advantage over the rest of the cars. When cars bunch together like that in traffic, so easily can they get mixed up with someone who just has to lift their foot off the throttle a little bit, and that's what just happened right now. Buddy Baker getting away from this bunch a tiny bit.
Earlier, we had a horribly frightening incident take place on lap 132. The race at that point was under the yellow, and the leaders were moving into the pit road. A relief driver for Roger Hamby by the name of Steve Pfeiffer in the circled car got loose, went into the grass, and went over the barrier and literally swallowed up people inside the wall. Amazingly and fortunately, we have been told that the driver, Pfeiffer, has minor injuries and is expected to be released from the hospital shortly. A photographer, Ray Cook, has suffered leg and ankle injuries which are not critical. And a security guard, Sandra Rolls, was examined at the hospital and didn't require admittance. There are no other reported injuries.
Truly amazing. The circled car there, Steve Pfeiffer, coming off the high banking here. First time on a super speedway, obviously misjudged the speed here, nearly ran into the car in front, got it sideways through inexperience, went low on the speedway, got onto the grass. Difficult to steer a car on the grass, could not avoid that wall. Plowed over the wall, 3,700 pounds of car, literally scythes down these people. How they got out of it, I'll never know.
So a terribly frightening incident, but again we repeat, no critical injuries. Meanwhile, the Michigan 400 winding down. Buddy Baker looking for his second win of the year. Bobby Allison second, Dale Earnhardt third, Richard Petty running fourth. We'll be right back. Just a moment ago, we had a brief yellow flag when the car spun into the infield, but everything ready right now for racing under the green again. And when they cross the start-finish line here, it will complete lap number 188. We'll have 12 laps to go, and it's Buddy Baker still out in front at the moment, with Cale Yarborough now running in second place. Car 05 belonging to Dick Brooks is not in the picture right now. He is third as you look at the screen, but he is a lap down. He is not in the running at the moment. Dale Earnhardt has a good shot at it in car number 2. The rookie looking for his second Grand National win of 1979. But there is Buddy Baker, who is also looking for his second win of the season. He won the Atlanta 500, and Cale Yarborough, who's had some problems today, right there with him.
Cale Yarborough had many problems. He's been in contact with a wall. He had a little brush with Richard Petty. His car is like a coat of many colors, from tire paint to concrete walls. And Cale Yarborough certainly been in trouble, but my goodness, this race is far from being over. There's a real mess going on behind these two lead cars. There's cars all over the way, all over the racetrack. It's only 11 laps to go. Another typical NASCAR show here. Everybody very close all the way through the motor race. I think we're going to see one of these great finishes once again.
Buddy Baker still the leader right now. Cale Yarborough, three-time defending Grand National champion. There's the battle for third. 88 is Darrell Waltrip. 2 is Dale Earnhardt, and here comes Donnie Allison in car number 1. And Richard Petty gets in behind Earnhardt right now. So Allison passes Earnhardt to move temporarily into 4th place, but Earnhardt going high, trying to once more move by Donnie. That is still Darrell Waltrip in car number 88. Waltrip looking for his 5th win of the year and still in contention at the moment. As they come across the start-finish line, a complete lap 190, we have 10 to go. Buddy Baker still out in front. He has led better than half the race.
The main thing for this other group now is to get up to these two leaders here, because if they lose them at this time, Buddy Baker and Cale Yarborough, with the enormous experience they have, if they just work together, don't pass each other at this time, they could break away from that second group. It's people in that second group that's got the major headache right now. It's they who are making ulcers for themselves, because if they lose that toe and lose the draft, they're going to find themselves in no show at the end of this race. So there we have Darrell Waltrip trying to find a way. Young Dale Earnhardt, a man who's been all over the racetrack today, showing his inexperience, but also showing his enthusiasm and his exuberance of youth, right up there with the leaders. Right now, I would guess it's only about 80 yards separating the first two cars, with only 9 laps to go from this second group. But this second group really have to get just a little bit closer.
It's been tight all the way, and we'll be right back with the finish of the Michigan 400. We're back in the battle for third right now. Has Richard Petty moving into 3rd place. Back of the leaders, Baker and Yarborough. That's Petty in 3rd place. Bonnet has taken over 4th. Here comes Waltrip again. Darrell had dropped back from 3rd to 7th place. Waltrip right now is still losing some ground here, as that's Donnie Allison in car number 1 and Earnhardt on the outside running 6th. So Waltrip is still 7th, but you're looking at the 5 cars in the battle for 3rd at the moment.
And they're 3 abreast in the center of that package there. The dark red car of Donnie Allison getting almost bruised side by side there as they pass the finishing line. Very close, but while all this is going on, there's 2 cars up in the lead there, and these 2 cars are stretching that lead. What seems to be a real close pack of cars after this yellow flag has now opened up to these 2 very experienced drivers being able to pull out. That's your group for your second place. Richard Petty, blue and red car, famous number 43. The red car, number 1, Donnie Allison. And look at Darrell Waltrip coming up on the outside once again. 3 abreast going into turn 3 here. Dale Earnhardt high on the racetrack. Then the dark red car there, car number 1 of Donnie Allison. Gosh, they're going close.
So the 5 men battling for 3rd at the moment and trying to pick up some ground, as we have 5 laps to go at the moment. Buddy Baker is still the leader, and he has stretched it out just a bit over Cale Yarborough in 2nd place. Then that great battle right there for 3rd. Bobby Allison at the moment is sitting in 8th place.
So the battle of the young lions hasn't really materialized the way we thought it might earlier on there. We find ourselves with 2 totally experienced drivers up front. Buddy Baker now has taken a bit of an advantage, but there's no advantage between these 2. He came in contact there. He certainly came in contact with Richard Petty. Donnie Allison hit him. Then you see Neil Bonnet, car number 21, the car that David Pearson normally drives. Dale Earnhardt in the yellow and blue car high in the banking. As they come through turn 4 here, they've got a little bit closer to Cale Yarborough, who seems to be losing a little bit of ground there on Buddy Baker. So therefore, this is going to be a bit of a help for these cars behind. They may well pick up the draft. With only 4 laps to go, you can see the gap there. The silver and black car of Buddy Baker certainly taking a positive advantage. Cale Yarborough must be in trouble. He's lost something, either handling or power, because now you can see Donnie Allison has set his sights on him. As we look long down the back stretch, you can see the gap there between Buddy Baker, and now you can see Donnie Allison is going inside Cale Yarborough. Cale Yarborough undoubtedly in trouble. Then Neil Bonnet in the... And you've got Dale Earnhardt there, got sideways. The back end of the car got loose. He's got it sideways again. He's trying to regain control. The car is loose. Tire temperatures have gone up. The car is less sure on the road. Dale Earnhardt gaining control there. Young, talented driver, but he nearly lost it there.
In the meantime, Buddy Baker staying out of any trouble, any danger whatsoever, and running very smoothly. Buddy Baker on lap 198, about 2.5 laps to go as he starts to go down the back stretches out in front. Donnie Allison is running in second place. It looked like Yarborough was going to battle Baker right to the wire, but Cale, obviously, as Jackie just said, having problems and dropping back right now. And Allison trying to close the gap here on Baker. And when they come across the start-finish line, we will have only 2 laps to go.
And Donald Waltrip smoking, and Donald Waltrip spun in turn 3 and 4. He's going up towards the barrier. He's avoided the barrier, but there's cars behind him. Can they avoid him? They've avoided him. It's quite clear there. It seemed to have a problem there. I dare say the engine seized up on him. There was oil in the rear wheels because the way he spun, we saw smoke going up there, and the yellow has come out.
And simultaneous with that incident, Frank Warren lost the tire in turn number 2. There it is. It has rolled into the infield. Frank Warren, his car in turn number 2, spinning into the grass, and so this one will obviously finish under the yellow flag. So what might have been a very close and very exciting finish will find Buddy Baker taking the checkered flag alongside the yellow. With 1 lap to go right now, Baker taking the white flag, and it will wind up with Buddy Baker capturing his 2nd Grand National race of 1979. Buddy Baker, who had been in a slump for a while, there is the overall point leader, Darrell Waltrip. His chances for a 5th win on the season circuit dash today as he instead limps back to the garage after the incident between 3 and 4. Nevertheless, Waltrip will still be the overall point leader after the race. You're looking at Donnie Allison now moving alongside Baker, perhaps to offer congratulations. As Buddy gets set to take the checkered flag under the yellow here, Donnie Allison will settle for 2nd place. Cale Yarborough will finish 3rd. Neil Bonnet, who was on the pole today in David Pearson's old car, number 21, will wind up 4th, and Richard Petty 5th. So here comes Buddy Baker, the crowd of nearly 63,000 at Michigan International Speedway saluting him as he crosses the finish line, the winner of the Michigan 400. Chris Economaki will be in Victory Lane to talk with Buddy Baker when we come back.
Congratulations, Buddy. It was really your race today, all the way.
Well,
Who gave you the most trouble?
Donnie Allison was 2nd fastest car, but this car just outperformed everybody in the corner so much that even if they come up beside me down the straightaway, when we got in the corner, I could pass on the outside, inside, anywhere I wanted to. And it's just a great race car. I was just proud of the death of it.
Buddy, when we talked to you after you won at Atlanta, you sat in the car for a while. You had some reason for it. You've sat in the car a good while today. You tired, or what's the reason for the long wait before getting out?
Well, I tell you, if you went 2 years like I did in between victories, when you get one, you want to sit there and savor it just a little bit.
Oh, how do you feel now?
Great. I'm real proud of these boys. These are the guys that win the race. The pit crew, they got me out fast today. My engine builder and crew chief, Waddell Wilson, Zoomer did a super job. I'd like to thank Harry Ranier for backing me in the racing.
What about the last yellow, Buddy? If that hadn't a wave, what kind of finish would we have seen?
It would have been a little bit closer, but I could go low in the racetrack, and I was the only car that could do that today. And 2 or 3 times, you know, we run 15, 20 laps hard together, and then we'd move right on out.
Well, you did a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
A big day for the big man, Buddy Baker, winner of the Michigan 400. Al Michaels for Jackie Stewart and Chris Economaki saying so long from Michigan International Speedway. The executive producer of ABC's Wide World of Sports is Roone Arledge. Coordinating producer Dennis Lewin. Michigan 400 produced by Ned Steckel. Directed by Larry Cam. AAU Track and Field Championships produced by Terry O'Neill. Directed by Craig Janoff. Our producer in Las Vegas, Alex Walu. Coordinating director Joe Assetti. Associate directors Ken Wolf, Vince D'Addario, Kurt Gowdy Jr., and Patty Tewitt. Technical directors Mike Blazo, Jim Freeling, and John Allen. Tomorrow afternoon over most of these ABC stations, be with us for NASL Soccer. The New England T-Men versus the New York Cosmos. Then, except in the Las Vegas area, ABC's Wide World of Sports, featuring Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tony Schiavone live from Las Vegas. And the World Professional Target Diving Championship. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United. United is building the largest airline in the world around you.